Hi Natto fans, this is Natto Dad. Today I'll be showing you how I make natto at home. I have been making natto for about 4 years now, and it's been over 100 batches, so this is the best method that I've found so far. So let's get to it. I start by weighing the soybeans. It's 450 grams per batch for me. And these soybeans are from Laura soybeans, which can be found online. They're the only store that I found that carry the Kotsubu soybean, which is the smaller size beans used for natto making. After weighing the soybeans, I will wash the soybeans about 3 times until the water runs clear. Once I finish rinsing the beans, I will fill the bowl to the top with water. This is important because the soybeans will double in size once they're soaking. You can see this is the starting height, and after about 10 hours they have puffed up to pretty high on the bowl. After 22 hours of soaking, you can see a little bit of foam starting to form on the top. I've never had a problem with smell or anything like that, so I wouldn't worry about it. Then I will drain the soybeans and I'll put it on the basket where it will steam on. And I just do this a few times until I get everything emptied out from the bowl. And after that, I will start filling my big pressure cooker here. I'll put a small plate on the bottom and then put the platform where the basket will sit on top of. And then once it's starting to steam, I will put the basket inside and close off the pressure cooker. Before applying pressure, I like to warm up the soybeans, so I set the timer to 10 minutes. Once the 10 minutes are over, I will put the vent weight on it and start building pressure. After it builds pressure, I will lower the temperature and then start the 40 minutes. So this is actually when you start timing the cooking of the beans. While that's going, I will fill the glass trays with water and put a little bit of chlorine to sanitize. I will also put 2 spoons, one that I'll use and one for backup. Okay, so that was 40 minutes of cooking time under 15 psi of pressure. I will go ahead and turn off the heat and it will cool for about 20 minutes. So while that's cooling, I have a fresh frozen pack of natto here, and I usually cut it to 9 cubes. So you can see I will make 2 cuts to have 3 lines and then go across and then do 2 more cuts for a total of 9 cubes. So the trays have been sanitizing until now. I will drain the trays, take out the spoons and rinse it with fresh water just to get the chlorine out. I will do the same to the trays, so I will just to make sure that there's no chlorine, I will rinse it a few times until I absolutely make sure there's no chlorine smell in the trays. Make sure that the pressure cooker is depressurized and then open it very carefully. Add the cooked beans onto the glass tray and add 1 frozen cube of the starter. I then put 3 spoons of the liquid from the pressure cooker, and this will help thaw the starter and also add moisture to the fermentation. After the natto thaws, I really make sure to mix it well to make sure that every single soybean has natto bacteria on it from the starter. On the left, you can see the uncooked soybeans. They're very light and almost yellow in color. And on the right, you see the cooked soybeans, which have a much dark beige color to them. So this was a great discovery to me. What I did was I mimicked the packaged natto that are sold in the stores. So this first cling wrap, I will poke holes to it, and this will actually sit on top of the natto, and this will prevent any drying of the soybeans. So you can see me here peeling it back and then laying it directly on top of the soybeans. Once that's done, I will get a second wrap, and this will go on top and this will stay there. So this creates an air pocket that has moisture in it, and then I will poke holes again everywhere. This is the heating source that I use. It is a single coil electrical burner that I put inside the oven, and you can find this online, as well as the hydrofarm thermostat. And the single coil burner is connected to the thermostat, so it dictates when it's on and when it's off. And that is the thermostat that controls that checks the temperature inside the oven. And then the main power comes from the wall, and that goes into the hydrofarm thermostat. Alternatively, you can use the 150-watt ceramic heat emitter instead of the single coil electric burner, and this will also work really well. It's a little bit hard to see here, but on the bottom I have the single coiled electrical burner, and I will set the hydrofarm thermostat to 98 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 38 degrees Celsius. And then I put a bowl with water to give it extra moisture, and I'll sit the glass trays with the soybeans all the way to the top. After 20 hours of fermentation, the natto should have a pleasant aroma, and it shouldn't have a strong ammonia smell to it. You can see here that after I take it out, around the soybeans, it has a nice halo, which is the natto growing. And yeah, it looks pretty good. So out of the oven fresh from the fermentation, the natto should have an opaque whitish film around the natto, and you can see here that it almost has a gummy feel to it. I mean, you can see the strings, but it's really thick, and the natto should stick to each other. As I mix it, you can see that the natto stay together, so it's clumping together, and you can already see that it has some nice threads to it. At this point, I would say they're more lumpy. And to me, this is a test where when you put soy sauce or some kind of liquid seasoning into it, it still should stick together. And I've had batches where once you put the soy sauce, it just kind of falls apart. So that's you can see it's a good quality. And then after 4 days, I've eaten some already, but 4 days it's a really good time where the natto are mature and the strings have relaxed a little bit. So you can see me here pulling the natto from the tray, and it has some amazing threads. So this came out great. I've noticed on the very good batches of natto that I made, you can mix it really well, and it almost forms like a silky. It sounds gross, but it's almost slimy and foamy. And this tells me that it's a really good batch of natto. So I'm Just mixing around with my natto chopsticks that I got from a very good friend. Here again I'm adding soy sauce, and then I will be mixing it a good amount just to build up the threads a little bit more. They do say that once you mix it, natto, you bring out the umami and maybe make it taste mellower. So there you go, guys. So this is the final natto. It looks really stringy and ready to eat. So I will put some green onions to it, and it's ready to eat.